Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. After New York City filed a lawsuit against 35 upstate counties for declaring states of emergency, Tioga County extended its state of emergency in spite of it. Our Maggie Hall has the latest in the wake of Title 42 ending.
Title 42, a pandemic-era federal regulation that limited asylum seeking in the United States, expired on May 11th. In anticipation and in the wake of Title 42 expiring, numerous upstate New York counties filed for states of emergencies. These state of emergencies prohibited any businesses or municipalities from housing any migrant individuals that may come to the area. Now, New York City has filed a lawsuit against these upstate New York counties. The lawsuit includes Chemung, Schuyler, and Tioga counties. The lawsuit filed by the city accuses the upstate counties of walling off their borders during a humanitarian crisis. It has been estimated that over 50,000 asylum seekers have sought refuge in New York City over the last year. The lawsuit asks the court to make the state of emergency orders null and to take steps to stop the counties from enforcing them any longer. In spite of this, Tioga County has renewed their state of emergency. Martha Sauerbrei, legislative chair of Tioga County, released this state of emergency declaration explicitly stating that any number of migrant individuals or asylum seekers would threaten the public's safety. The state of emergency extension is currently in effect. It will be in effect until the 24th of June and again prohibits businesses from housing any migrant individuals. Fines and a Class B misdemeanor would result if businesses go against it. Big Fox News will continue to keep you updated on the situation. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Tioga County.
Conflicting reports have been circulating in regards to the travel center proposed by the Chemung County Industrial Development Agency to be built across from a community park. Well, on Wednesday of last week, we here at Big Fox News received a tip from a viewer in direct correspondence with Mark Margeson at the Chemung County Legislature. The tip was that the project is to no longer go through. Now, Joe Roman, the executive director of the CCIDA, released a press release saying the plan for the project is being reevaluated and reconsidered. However, did not explicitly say the project is done. June is World Elder Abuse Awareness Month. To protect seniors from elder abuse, the New York Department of State offers guidance. Part of this guidance is how to avoid scams targeted at seniors. Here are some of the most frequent ways to recognize these scams and to stay away from them. Medical device scams. Robocalls offering victims free medical alert devices if they provide their address and credit card. Grandparent scam. Scammers call and ask for money while impersonating a beloved grandchild who is in trouble. Funeral notification scam. Scammers send emails falsely saying a loved one of the victim has died, offering a link to the obituary. When the victim clicks on the link, malicious software invades their computer and steals info. Don't they all make you upset? For more information, you can visit the website on your screen. Early voting for the primary has begun. In Steuben County, there are only primaries in Addison, Bath, Campbell, Caton, Rathbone, Troopsburg, and Wayland. The primary is scheduled for June 27th, with early voting going on now at the Bath Annex. On Frankly Speaking today, Steuben County Board of Elections Republican Commissioner Vicki Olin discussed whether or not she sees early voting as a success in Steuben County.
This election, not so much, but like I said, we only have 7 towns and it's only Republican primary. The general election, I think people are kind of getting the hang of, maybe coming out and voting early. Some people are still kind of, I'm just going to go to my poll site and vote on election day.
For more information on early voting, call the Steuben County Board of Elections at the number on your screen. This Pride Month, vandalized pride flags are becoming a common sight at Stonewall Monument in New York City. Is this a hate crime or a terrible coincidence? Ashley Rodriguez reports.
Steven Menendez picks up broken pride flags from the ground of the Stonewall National Monument. As a park volunteer, it's his job to maintain the 250 flags flying around the park's perimeter. 3 weeks into Pride Month, Sunday morning, he was not expecting to find a fourth of the flags snapped in half.
It's just disappointing to come in and see it again. This is 3 times over 7 days.
When we arrived, police were on scene, but there's little they can do other than to check if neighboring shops have cameras. Park volunteers are relying on the existence of only one camera guarding the front of the park, and they argue the city needs to put up more. That way, if people choose to vandalize the park, they know they're being watched.
We'll always have that reminder that there will continue to be those who don't support LGBTQ rights. It's upsetting, sad, and concerning that we have to see it in one of the heart of where our rights was born and continues to grow.
It's not yet clear if this was the work of the drunk and disorderly or a targeted effort to vandalize a historic gay monument. But park goers observing Menendez replacing the flags argued about how to react.
I feel like as a transgender that this is too much in your face. I want an American flag. This is America. This isn't LGBT country.
The divisiveness among passerbys Sunday, just a small example of the underlying reason behind now a third instance of vandalism at Stonewall Monument.
We have so much anger and hatred in the air right now. We really need to reverse that and replace it with love, compassion, and acceptance.
Even if police can get their hands on video, there's no guarantee that they're going to be able to ID whoever did this. They're going to continue to investigate, and we will keep you updated. In Greenwich Village, Ashley Rodriguez, Fox 5 News.
Another troubling report about the reach of China's military, which could soon establish a base in America's backyard. Alexandria Hoff reports from Washington.
The Biden administration has China in the spotlight, pushing a new diplomatic strategy to lower tensions. But those efforts might not be working. The Wall Street Journal reporting Beijing is negotiating with the Cuban government to establish a new military training facility on the island, giving China a significant military footprint just 90 miles off the coast of Florida. The Chinese government denying it has plans to place troops at America's doorstep.
I am not aware of the situation you have mentioned. We hope that the parties concerned will put more effort into enhancing mutual trust.
The talks are reportedly at an advanced stage, with the White House now working to slow them down. If the base is approved, it would be just the latest example of growing ties between China and Cuba, including the building of a Chinese spy base on Cuban soil, which has been active since at least 2019.
This is something we're going to be monitoring very, very closely, and we've been very clear about that. And we will protect our homeland. We will protect our interests.
The reports come just hours after Secretary of State Antony Blinken finished a high-stakes visit to China. Blinken was unable to get Beijing to agree to the restoration of military-to-military communications, a key goal in lowering tensions between Washington and Beijing.
The trip makes it more likely that we'll have confrontation in the wrong way as opposed to economic confrontation that would keep us from a military action.
Blinken says reestablishing direct communication with China's military is, quote, a work in progress. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
Still ahead, we have your complete forecast. Plus, engineers say they have developed underwater drones that can dive into bodies of water too dangerous for people during search and rescue operations. How they're hoping this new technology will keep divers out of harm's way, coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening and happy Tuesday. We were watching this warming trend take hold. Even just looking at the last 5 days, you can see the warming trend, and we definitely have felt it from 63 only on Friday, and then yesterday topping off into those mid-80s, and seeing that develop again today as we were underneath some of that sunshine. But note that as we stepped into the afternoon, we did see those popcorn-like showers pop up, where they're very isolated, short-lived, and they're driven off of the heat that we have at the surface, so they don't carry on around very far and have very limited capability to even bring thunderstorms, as a lot of the activity and the strength of those storms is associated with a low that's actually across portions of Tennessee. So there's a lot of movement there in the air between Tennessee and New York. But what we are going to note is that this blocking pattern, although we're getting a little influence from this low pressure system, we are going to see our Wednesday set up more of that influence of the high that is in place, as we'll see that that low is going to be pushed as far south as we're expecting for Wednesday, which does trend to give us a very warm and quiet day with highs again into those 80s. But we will see that blocking pattern break down, as this has definitely been the summer of blocking patterns, but it does quickly work out, which is going to let that low work its way up the East Coast, which means that we will turn back to seeing some of those cloudier skies return on Thursday. Might see a few showers. Will be dependent on how cloudy it is. If we can pop up some showers, maybe a few thunderstorms, but we will see that our better chance is going to be as that low slides on through the area, which is going to be throughout the weekend, bringing us some showery spells as well as maybe a few rumbles of thunder. Severe threat is extremely low. We'll keep an eye on any adjustments needed due to the passage of the low, but generally going to be back underneath that active weather pattern, as we will then turn to more activity coming from the west. So enjoy a fairly quiet and seasonable day. We're looking at an average low of 56 and high of 81, and we are matching up to that, maybe even a few degrees above that, as we will be underneath that beautiful sunshine all day. Maybe a few passing clouds similar to what we're seeing today, but again, it will be pretty restricted when it comes to any shower chances due to that low drifting closer to portions of the Gulf of Mexico, but will emerge its way back up to the northeast, which, as we look into that Thursday forecast, we're back under those overcast skies. May see a few showers possible. Again, if we have more overcast skies, that limits that daytime heating, and when we don't have that heating, that's what restricts some of those pop-up showers like we saw today. So that's what we'll be watching for Thursday, but we'll at least see that that low gets closer and closer, which will then overspread the area with showery weather. And then there will be enough potential, especially closer to that low, to create some convection instability, which one keeps us mild into those 80s, pulling warm air off of the Atlantic, but it also brings warmer conditions. That means thunder risk will be around. Again, not looking widespread severe. We'll keep an eye on any adjustment there, but then we do look to stay active into next week.